Two passengers can sit next to each other on the exact same flight, in the exact same seat class, and have paid prices that differ by hundreds of dollars. Neither one got a bad deal or a good deal by accident. Every seat on that plane was priced by a system built to extract the maximum possible revenue from that specific flight. And the two of you simply bought your tickets at different moments in a constantly shifting calculation. The first thing to understand is that an airline's pricing system is not trying to sell every seat at the highest possible price, and it's not trying to fill the plane as cheaply as possible either. It is trying to maximize total revenue across the entire flight, which is a fundamentally different goal. A flight that departs completely full of deeply discounted seats can generate less total revenue than a flight that departs with a handful of empty seats but sold most of them at higher fares. This is why an airline will sometimes let a seat fly empty rather than discount it at the last minute. That empty seat is a bet that a late booking business traveler will pay full price for it instead. A single economy cabin isn't actually one price tier. Airlines divide the same physical seats into multiple fare buckets, sometimes a dozen or more, each with its own price and its own restrictions around refundability, changes, and how far in advance it was booked. As the cheapest buckets sell out, the system automatically closes them and starts selling from the next bucket up. Which is why the price you see searching today can be higher than what a friend saw searching last week for the identical flight and cabin, without either of you doing anything wrong. Modern revenue management systems are no longer just tracking how many seats are left. They pull in over 100 variables including historical booking patterns for that specific route and date, competitor pricing on the same route, oil prices, weather forecasts at the destination, local event calendars, and even social media sentiment. Machine learning models use all of this to predict how many seats will sell at each price point over the following days and weeks, and adjust prices in near real time. On high-traffic routes, prices can update every 5 to 10 minutes rather than the hourly updates older systems used. Traditionally, airlines could only sell tickets at a handful of pre-filed price points, and computers picked from that fixed menu. A newer approach called continuous pricing lets the algorithm calculate any price point along a continuous curve between two filed fares, rather than being locked to a small number of exact numbers. Early adopters of this approach have reported meaningful revenue gains, since it lets the system fine-tune the price far more precisely to what demand data suggests a given seat is actually worth at that exact moment. The day and time you search matters more than most travelers realize. Business travel patterns are remarkably predictable. Routes popular with corporate travelers see fares jump 30 to 80% for the specific flights that let someone leave Monday morning and return Thursday or Friday evening, because that demand is price insensitive and highly reliable. Meanwhile, the same route on a Tuesday or Wednesday departure, or with a Saturday night stay, often carries a much lower fare because that pattern skews toward leisure travelers who have more flexibility and will shop around. The algorithm has learned these patterns from years of historical data and prices accordingly, long before any human analyst looks at the route. The base fare is only part of what actually determines the final price you pay. Modern pricing systems bundle the seat itself with a set of attributes. Whether the ticket is refundable, what change penalties apply, whether checked bags are included, and which seat selection options are available. Two passengers can technically be quoted the same base fare, but end up paying very different total amounts once these bundles are factored in, which is part of why comparing prices between two searches, or between two passengers, is rarely an apples-to-apples comparison even when everything looks identical on the surface. Revenue management also has to account for the fact that not every booked passenger actually shows up. No-show rates are remarkably predictable on a route-by-route basis, so airlines deliberately sell more tickets than there are physical seats, calculated to land as close as possible to a full flight without leaving revenue on the table from empty seats caused by no-shows. This is also why airlines offer compensation for volunteers on the rare occasions they overshoot that calculation. It's cheaper to pay a few $100s in vouchers than to have systematically sold too few seats and flown with empty ones for months on end. Airlines also track something called the booking curve, the typical pattern of how far in advance people buy tickets for a given route. Leisure routes tend to book early and steadily, while business-heavy routes see a spike of last-minute bookings close to departure. Revenue management systems compare real-time bookings against this expected curve for each specific flight. And if a flight is booking faster than its historical curve predicts, the system raises prices earlier to capture that stronger demand. If it's booking slower than expected, prices may drop earlier than usual to stimulate demand before too many cheap seats go unsold entirely. So the next time you see the seat next to you sold for less or more, remember there was no seat lottery involved. A revenue management system had already calculated, months in advance, exactly what your seat and every other seat on that plane was statistically worth at the moment each of you decided to buy.